My client called me this morning in tears, and I'm gonna try to help you not do what happened to her. So she has an autistic child who was had a pretty rough go. To start preschool last year, and he got into the preschool program. He qualified for the IEP and just took off. Amazing. They started a trial with him towards the end of the school year. I want to say the last couple of months he was matriculating into general education, just doing really well. They cried at the IEP meeting. It was just great. And the parents had the option. A lot of times when your child is in a preschool program, it's not at the school that you're zoned for or at the school, where you're going to send the child. And so a lot of times the schools will give you the option to move the child to the school that you're zoned for or keep them at the school where they had the pre-K program. Well, parents are parents, sometimes it's more convenient to go to the school that you're zoned for. So they switched him to the school that he was zoned for. This was to start kindergarten, and we are agreed that he, in the least restrictive environment, the preschool, thought he was totally ready for kindergarten. In general education, he goes on a staggered schedule because that's often how they do kindergarten, and crashes out. Just the general education teacher doesn't know what's going on. He's having meltdowns. He's dysregulated, all kinds of things. Just poor kid crashing out. And so the mother feels horrible, as a lot of us autism mothers feel, because we recognize that our kids are different, and no other hallmark of how different your kid is when someone else wants to tell you how different your kid is, especially someone that should be trained to be able to work with a child. Now, trust me, no, general education teachers do not receive specific training to work with kids with disabilities. Yes, general education teachers should get some sort of training in college to work with kids with disabilities, because the law should be letting these teachers know that these kids have a right to be in the least restrictive environment, which oftentimes means your class. However, a special education teacher was there. They're calling a parent asking for, advice and all kinds of things. So a parent is just devastated. So we're having a discussion about what the options are. Should he go back to the other school? Should we do certain things? One of the things I had said in their last IEP meeting, which was in May, was for them to have a meeting with the new school before the kid gets to school. Well, parent tried to do this, and the school just didn't think it was necessary. And now here we are. Had we had that meeting, that would have been very helpful. I say to all parents, if your child is changing schools, if they're changing classes, if they're changing teachers, try to have that meeting. It doesn't have to be an official IEP meeting. You can just go and sit with the teacher, have a meeting where the teacher has your undivided attention. So likely not a meet the teacher thing where there's a whole bunch of parents there, but just like 10-15 minutes to talk a little bit about your child, to make sure that they've read the IEP, to answer any questions. That can save you a lot of heartache. If you think that your child needs a little bit more transition time, all of those things. Had we done that, we probably wouldn't be where we are now. We're going to get there. The kid's going to be fine, but, could have saved the mom a couple of tears. Hope this helps.